Hi, this is Carl Shalahorn from the Debunking Addiction blog on HealthyPlace.com. When it comes to finding addiction recovery, a lot of people struggle with some of the basic elements of what it boils down to when it comes to staying clean and sober. So I'd like to give you some of the tips that I give to my clients, and hopefully will help you as well. First of all, you have to believe that you can do it. You have to have the hope and the understanding that addiction is devastating, but there is a life beyond that type of lifestyle and those choices that people make. So the first key is belief. You need to believe that you can do it. You need to believe that it is possible. You may have tried in the past, you may have failed, but every day that you wake up, you have another opportunity to get this thing right. Second of all, you need to reach out for help. I think it's nearly impossible for a person to stop using and abusing drugs and alcohol without getting some help of one kind or another. For instance, you might get help from formal counseling, you might get help through friends and family, through spiritual means, a spiritual mentor, or you might even get help through a program like AA or NA. But the point is that it does help to get assistance from another person. Another thing is to create space between you and the drug. Obviously, that may be difficult for some people, but the more space you create between you and the drug, the better chance you have of recovery. Obviously, if you're not around it, you're not going to use it. So sometimes you need to make those choices not to put yourself in vulnerable situations where there may be people that are using. Separating yourself from those people that might be abusing drugs and alcohol is probably one of the best things you can do. It can be difficult, but sometimes you have to break those relationships in order to do what you need to do for yourself. Also, you might want to try replacing unhealthy behaviors that are addictive with healthy ones. For instance, many people may try to incorporate exercise, spiritual practices like prayer and meditation, things like that, in order to be able to find a sense of balance or wholeness. And when you look at it, addiction really does take a lot from a person. So if you replace it with something that's more positive, it may be more easy to overcome. And at least you've got something that you can focus on that is beneficial as opposed to destructive like addiction is. Another thing you might want to do is try to just reduce the cravings just by giving it 5 minutes. Just waiting 5 minutes if you experience an intense craving is something that you can do to delay the desire to pick up. If you can just get through that brief period of time, the craving will pass. All cravings do. It's just a matter of not giving into the craving and not folding and deciding to pick up when you could have just waited a little bit longer, and eventually it will pass. And then finally, I just have to say, don't pick up no matter what. It's so important that, if you feel weak, if you feel like you're struggling, just don't pick up. It's so difficult, I think, for people to understand that, but if you don't pick up, you're not going to get high. So, if you don't get high, things will get better, and recovery does take time, but by incorporating these few simple steps I mentioned, you can find a way to make your recovery something that's worthwhile. So hopefully this has helped for today. If you have any thoughts, please feel free to comment. And for the Debunking Addiction blog, I'm Carl Shalahorn.